You know this kid? Your friend? He's got $8 million in the bank.
What?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
That's why he got stabbed.
What the hell are you talking about? $8 million.
Jim Cryers says someone stabbed him.
Folks, you saw the clip. First of all, welcome back, Vinny Malone. I mean, the episode's called The Surgeon, and my gosh, somebody's going to need one for Jim if Candace and Hannah find out what happened. So there is so much to dissect from a 25-second clip. Now, first of all, I mentioned this at the end of the episode, exhausted, you know, when Benny was left bleeding out on the porch, and well, on the steps, and Hannah came out to find him. And I said, you know what? There's no need of making this more complicated than it already is. Let's just have the Malones be the ones that stabbed Benny, because there are way too many storylines going on right now. So why extend things out or draw things out even longer than necessary by making it so Benny's shooting being a mystery? And at the time, it was assumed it was Benny being shot, because in the episode preview for Speak Through It, Candace was talking to Charles saying my brother was shot. And it wasn't until the episode Battle for the Past where it was confirmed that, you know, Benny was stabbed, not shot. So we pretty much learned from Benny that apparently Jim Cryer had somebody hired to go stab Benny. There we go. And if you remember my video, Who Stabbed Benny, I went over an entire list in no particular, well, I did have a particular order, but I forgot who it was. I remember saying, what if it was Charles or somebody from his team? What if it was Quita? What if it was Malik? What if it was Veronica? What if it was Jim? And I forgot who else it was, but I had a list, and I know I had them in order. But Jim, yeah, this explains a lot. So this might actually explain why both Candace and Hannah are together over at Catherine's house in order to get down to the bottom of this, because, you know, the way Candace probably finds out is, you know, so it looks like in tonight's episode, and I'm recording this Tuesday morning, I need to sit down, edit everything, and post to the channel. We do know that Mitch is going to tell, or excuse me, Vinny will tell Mitch what happened, and then that might explain how Candace goes over to the Ironbone bar to talk with Mitch, because if you remember in the trailer for the season we got on January the 8th, you know, Mitch is saying, you know, do you really want to know what happened to Benny? Or do you really want to know what happened to your brother? And then he probably explains everything in regards to the money in the account and why Benny got stabbed as a result, thanks to Jim Cryer. Then I'm guessing Candace probably tells this information to Hannah, and from there they team up to go over to the Cryers, and then that leads to Hannah slapping Jim. 'Cause I did a video about, you know, Hannah slaps the taste out of Jim's mouth. It looks like we know why. Because not only does, you know, Jim just say, you're the whore that took my $8 million, you're the bitch that's not going to get it back. And then Hannah, you know, retaliates by slapping him in the face, because it looks like, you know, he's kind of, you know, hunched over in her face, just talking smack as always, and then probably says something that triggers him being slapped. I am very interested to see how this is going to play out. So, folks, sadly enough, you know, this stabbing might actually be the thing that brings Candace and Hannah closer together, at least in the form of those two forming like a truce temporarily at best, because of the fact that, you know, hey, my son and your brother got in a near-death position because of this asshole, so we're going to have to deal with him ourselves. And to actually see a potential Hannah-Candace team-up is something, this is going to be good. I'm excited now. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I said, you know what? I didn't want this whole Benny in the hospital thing, or who attacked Benny, to be this big mystery and drawn out story. But if it leads to these two getting closer together, then I'm for it. I mean, to actually just see, you know, the likes of Catherine and Jim teaming up against, you know, Sarah, and that looking very good. Imagine, you know, Hannah and Candace teaming up because their loved one Benny was hurt, and the same son of a bitch took care of it, and they both don't like him. This is going to be interesting, because Hannah already warned Jim, don't you dare threaten my son, do anything to him. And it's pretty much, you know, going back to her old life. She really does remind me of Natalie when she was threatening Quan and you know, his mother. But I'm just saying, folks, it is going to be a smackdown. And the biggest question to me is here. Okay. I really I don't know if this is going to measure up to anything in the grand scheme of things. This is just me, thinking out loud. What is Mitch going to think about it? Because if you notice the way he was kind of, not even believing Vinny when he was talking about how Benny has like over $8 million in his bank account, wouldn't you think that Mitch would feel some kind of way? And this is just me speculating because I'm putting myself in Mitch's shoes to imagine, whoa. And remember, Mitch most likely is just getting the news. So there's no telling if Vinny knows exactly how long Benny has had this money. And then Mitch will probably be wondering, or even, Vinny will be like, how did Benny get the money? We don't know. But I'm imagining that if Jim hired someone, and as Mitch said, somebody riding on a bicycle and whatnot, that's not one of our boys. So it probably wasn't a Malone. But being the Malones, they probably figured it out in regards of who sent him and why. Because if the Malones were after Benny in order to kill him, because remember, the hit on Benny for stabbing Vinny in the neck, that hadn't been called off yet. So they were on a search and destroy mission. The person that went over and stabbed Benny most likely was just issuing a warning. Vinny, remember, had his throat slashed, so he's probably got vocal cord damage. That's why his voice doesn't sound exactly like it did in his initial episodes last year. So it was kind of hard to make out what he was saying, even with closed captioning. So I do believe he says something about until the money is given back, there might be more people. I could be wrong. Excuse me. I'm sorry about that, but I couldn't fully make it out what he was saying. So it seems to me like Candace sending Malik and threatening to send more people after Hannah unless the money was given to her, Jim might be doing the same thing by hiring these thugs, sending them after Benny until the $8 million is given back to him, which actually makes a lot of sense due to the fact that Candace and Jim are so much alike. Now, going back to Mitch, my question is, what will he think about the situation? And this is just me, once again, speculating. If I were Mitch and I didn't know that, number one, Benny had this money intentionally in his account. Number two, I didn't know how long Benny had the money. And number three, I will be very angry because Mitch has put not only his relationship with the Malone family on the line, but also, even being threatened with his life, with the from his own family by standing in the way of canceling the hit on Benny and whatnot. So if I were Mitch and I didn't know exactly what was going on, remember last year I was mad at Mitch. The only time I was upset at Mitch was when he jumped to the conclusion that Benny attacked his uncle, left him for dead, and then threatened him with the family coming after him for the money without fully understanding the situation and asking what happened. That was justified in terms of me being mad. But in this situation, yeah, if I were Mitch and I found out my friend who I had been sticking my neck out for this long had this much money in his account, I'll be pissed off. So I don't know if that's going to be the situation. And mind you, this was only a 25-second clip. So I don't know if Mitch is going to get all the details or if Vinny knows everything about the fact as to how and why Benny has that money in his account. So with that being said, I guess the order of operations is, okay, Vinny will tell Mitch, Mitch will tell Candace, Candace relays the information to Hannah, or maybe Mitch does call Hannah because remember, she did kind of trust him with the fact that is your family going to come after him or not if you give the money back. So maybe, I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but Hannah and Candace both find out and they'll probably team up against Jim. Now, another question I want to raise is, what about the Malones in this situation? Okay, so if Jim has this guy stab Benny and possibly come back for more until the money's given back, will the Malones lay off of Benny? Or because Vinny is out of the hospital now, he can pretty much squash the hit on Benny when it should be Wyatt that's being chased after? And number two, we do see that Vinny is handed the $45,000, but that doesn't guarantee if the interest isn't paid back that the Malones won't keep coming after him. So guys, at the core of it, Jim hired somebody to take out Benny. I cannot wait to see what Candace and Hannah will do together against Jim. And I don't even know if the money is ever going to go back to the Criers at this point. I don't know. Because at this point, I'm like, the money should have been back. But with him being stabbed and whatnot, I don't know. But I just feel like, and look, I know this is me kind of like, I'm not taking sides here. But I do feel like the money should, the quicker the money goes back, the sooner this can be squashed. But I do believe that Benny is definitely entitled to some money from this, just like the whole hit and run scenario, because I was upset with Hannah always telling Benny about, Mrs. Cryer paid your hospital bills and you got that house in the tow yard, yada, yada, yada. But then Candace screwed it up. But at the same time, Benny was never given what he was, in a way, what he deserved. Benny never had a voice in saying what he wanted, or what he wanted done. Yes, it was nice that Catherine saved Benny and whatnot, but even then she didn't admit that Wyatt was the one that hit Benny. It was something more of a cover-up and to help out her friend rather than justice being served. So I mean, interpret that for how you will. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. But with Jim being the one to actually commit the stabbing, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you think will be the Young's revenge for this? Do you think that there's going to be a situation where Benny and Wyatt actually meet? Keep in mind, Wyatt is trying to destroy his family, and Candace did actually, get a phone call from Wyatt saying that, hey, I'll give you all the information. You can take all their money because I want to get back at them. Do you think that's going to be followed up? I actually mentioned that in a video about what will Candace do now. So this is something I'm very intrigued to see in this episode, The Surgeon. Let me know your thoughts. Subscribe, and guys, hit that subscribe button, because as soon as news leaks to me, I will definitely try to do videos as fast as I can for it. Congratulations on making it to the end of this video. If you like what you saw, be sure to hit that thumbs up button, as well as leaving your thoughts in the comment section below so we can keep the conversation going. On the left hand side of the screen, you should see a picture of Jeffrey Harrington. You can click on him in order to subscribe, but also hit the bell notification icon. That way you don't miss out on any new content. Also, you should see some videos appearing on the screen as well that I'm pretty sure you'll enjoy if you enjoyed the one you just saw. But also, be sure to follow me on social media such as Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Links to all my social media will be in the description below. And in order to help this channel hit 100,000 subscribers, I'm going to need your help. So make sure to share this video as well as the channel around with all of your friends on your own social media. But once again, thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you all in the next video.